What's up, guys? Rich here again for Youth in Business TV. This is episode 5. In this episode, I'm going to talk about client etiquette. Okay, and what I mean by client etiquette is how to speak to clients, how to, talk over the phone, leave messages, basically how to interact with your business associates. Okay, so earlier in the series, I talked about I was going to do an episode about how to leave a voicemail, and I was going to just make an episode solely for that, but I'm going to actually just incorporate that into this episode. There's not enough content in how to leave a voicemail to do an entire episode about it, obviously. So we're going to talk about that in this episode a little bit later. But first, I want to talk about a few different things. One, I want to talk about how to meet people, in person. I want to talk about how to talk to people that you don't necessarily, people you don't know versus people that maybe you do know. Or, and I also want to talk about things like just being professional in general. A lot of people think that professionalism is a given in business, and it is. But a lot of young people don't really know how to do, the little things that make you. You have to be careful of the little things that make you maybe not as professional. So we'll get into that. Okay? So in part 1 of episode 5, I'm going to talk about how to communicate over the phone and over email. And then in part 2 of this episode, I'm going to talk about how to actually meet with people in person. So there's a bit of a difference. So in this part, I'm going to talk about things like don't call from a blocked number. I'll give you guys tricks on how to get clients to call you back. I'm going to give you guys tips on how to test a client's validity. Sometimes you have to do that. And just other things like that, like avoiding text messages and emails versus actually talking on the phone. Okay, so the first thing I want to stress to you guys is don't call either clients or associates from a blocked number. A lot of people, it really ticks me off when I get a call and I miss it and I don't get my phone and it was a blocked number. Because if the person doesn't leave a voicemail, I don't know who it was. And I obviously can't call them back. I have absolutely no idea what it was. So if your phone is blocked or something and you're going to try and call a client, or maybe you're going to try and call, again, a business associate, somebody you work with but not for, definitely unblock your number, okay? Sometimes people will avoid your call if it's blocked. So that's just something else to think about. Okay, next is always leave a voicemail. Doesn't matter what you're calling for, even if you're just calling to follow up with someone. Always leave a voicemail. It's very unprofessional to call and not leave a voicemail. I'll tell you when it is okay to do that, when you actually, sometimes you do want to do that, and I'll tell you why. But for the most part, if you don't have if you don't know a client very well, you're just on a kind of a informational basis, you definitely always want to leave a voicemail. Another one that I stress a lot is never leave a quote over a voicemail. So it's pretty often that you guys are going to call someone and you're going to give them an estimate for your service, or you're going to give them some vital piece of information. People in this day and age don't always answer their phone, so again, leave a voicemail, but try hard not to leave the estimate over the phone. Your goal is always to talk to that person, to get them to interact with you, because it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, you often have to play salesman. So if you email over your price, or you say, hey, this is Donnie so-and-so, my quote is blah, 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 that person automatically gets a choice whether they want to choose to go with you or whether they want to get another estimate, maybe go with a store brand or something like that. So you never leave that over the voicemail. You always get them to talk to you. Then you have a better chance to convince them, this is Donnie, the quote is so-and-so, but the reason why is this. How do you feel about that? What are your concerns? You always want to have it be a give and take. If you just give them your quote over the phone, you're not getting anything. You're giving, but you're not getting anything back. Let's see. Another interesting thing I've learned over the years is there are certain tricks to get people to call you back, because, like I said, when you're trying to convince a client or a customer to go with your service or to go with your business, you have to play salesman. So when you call people, when you call that one client and they don't call you back, it gets really irritating, and it puts a damper on you when you can't get that sale because they're not calling you back. So sometimes, and I said earlier, always leave a voicemail. Sometimes it's better not to leave a voicemail, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes it depends on the client. Some people, they're very straightforward. If you call them, they want you to leave a voicemail and let them know what the call was about, and then they'll call you back. But some people, they will kind of avoid you if they know who you are. You know what I mean? You're offering this service. Maybe they aren't very serious with trying to get you, trying to get that service from you. They're doing. They're doing what you call kicking tires. So if they're just kicking your tires, you want to know that. You want to know, hey, are you interested, or are you just trying to get a price quote from me? So sometimes what I'll do is, if I'm not sure that they really want to get the service, I'll just call them. They don't answer, I hang up, and then immediately I call them back, and I hang up. And depending on if I really want to get through to them, I'll call them 3 or 4 times in a row. Okay, and what that tells people when they look on their phone or their cell phone or their landline or whatever, and they see 4 or 5 missed calls from a number and there's no voicemail, they wonder, what was that about? What's going on? So their first inclination is to call you back because you didn't leave a voicemail. Okay, but that's only a tactic if you have a hard time getting through to somebody and you want to have them call you back. Another important thing is always get 2 numbers from somebody. Get 2 different, get their cell phone, ask them, hi, so-and-so, is this your cell phone? Okay, great. What's another number I can reach you on? Be it a house line, work phone number, even a spouse's cell phone. A lot of people say, well, I don't have any, house phone, I just use my cell. Say, well, okay, can I get your spouse's cell phone in case you're unavailable? Sometimes, if all they can give you is their one cell phone, then just take that. Don't make a huge deal out of it. But again, if you can, get a second number. Okay, let's see. Want to leave a voicemail? Okay, so sometimes, especially in the kind of work that I do, people will call me. The initial call they've made, okay, because they see my ad, they want to get my service, so they call me, and I want to test their validity, which means I want to know how serious they are in getting my service. Again, sometimes people are just kicking tires. Sometimes people are just feeling out, what it is that you do, maybe how much you charge. You want to avoid putting out too much effort for these people, because you're going to waste your time. It's possible you're going to waste your money. If you do in-home estimates like I do, then you're definitely going to waste your money in gas and a good part of your day. So sometimes what I do is I put certain hoops for people to jump through when I'm doubting that they really want to get that service done, or they really want to go with my business. So a lot of the times I'll get a call, and if I can kind of tell that they're not very serious, I'll just throw out the number right away. I'll say, a closet estimate or a closet remodel costs about so and so, and I just listen to hear what they say. If they say, okay, that sounds about right, or okay, that's no problem, then I know that they're real. Oftentimes, when I can hear on the other end that they're probably not that interested, I'll throw out the number and they'll say, oh, well, oh, that's a lot, or I didn't think it was going to be that much. And that's okay. Sometimes people really don't know how much your service costs, you know, or how much your product costs. I've had people that they call me and they think that they can get a master closet remodel for like $200. I mean, you can't even buy the materials at Home Depot for that. So you know, it's an honest mistake, but you have to throw that out there and see what happens with that. Another thing I do is if there's somebody that's not really very serious about it, I'll make them go through certain hoops. Most of the time, it's best to be Johnny on the spot with either an estimate, meeting with a client, you know, getting your quote out there, getting your service done. You know, the best practice is always to be the first one there. If they call you on a Monday, say, hey, I'd like you to come out and take a look, give me your estimate, you know, when can you get it done? You always say, you know, I'll be there as soon as I can. I'll be there, you know, in 3 days, or, you know, the next day. Even the same day is really the best. So if I'm trying to test whether they really want to get that service, I'll tell them, you know, I'm booked solid this week, and I'm booked solid next week. So, you know, we're going to have to wait till 2 weeks from now. You know, if they really want that service, they're going to call me back. If they don't, I'm never going to hear from them again, and I didn't waste any of my time or any of my money. So, you know, again, just, you know, throw the big number out there. If you think that they're not very serious, throw the big number out there. Let them have it, because if they are serious, that's not going to scare them. And then definitely give them hoops to jump through, because, you know, if somebody's just kind of, you know, oh, you know, how much would it cost, you know, you give them hoops so that you don't waste your time. Let them kind of use their time. I don't want to say you need to waste their time, but you let them, you put the ball in their court and make them kind of come to you, okay? That's a good test to see if somebody's really serious. You do have to be careful, because sometimes people are serious, and if you do these things, they're going to go with another company. So you have to get a good gauge for when people are serious, and or, you know, when to do these tactics. Another thing I want to talk about as far as communicating over the phone or over email is always take somebody's phone number. Never give them yours, okay? I mean, you're always giving out your business card, that's no problem, but if you hear about somebody who says, oh yeah, you know, I heard from my brother-in-law that you do that, or you sell that certain item, and I really want to get that done, you know, they're talking it up, you guys are at a barbecue or whatever, always get their phone number, because when you get theirs, you can call them, okay? When you give them your phone number, you likely never hear from them. And maybe they weren't serious, maybe they were just talking, maybe they had a few beers, you know, whatever. But when you get their phone number, you get a chance to give them a call. I want to cite a little instance. This weekend, actually, I was out doing a photography gig in downtown, and some young guy, about my age, he says, you know, hey, what's up with the photography, you know, what do you do and stuff, and I was kind of letting him know and giving him, you know, my info and stuff, and he says, oh, here, take my email, you know, give me, you know, let me give you my email, because I can totally hook you up, you know, I can help you out, you know, you can help me out, I can help you out, and I didn't really know what he was trying to get at, but he was like, let me give you my email, blah, blah, blah. He didn't even have a business card. And I was thinking, like, dude, I'm a business owner. Like, don't give me the, you know, this is business owner 101. I'm not gonna. Why would I call you? You have to take my info so you can call me. You know. I was thinking, like, this guy, you know, he's just crazy. I did call him, and he didn't even answer. So, you know, who knows? He probably wasn't very serious. So, if you are serious, always get their phone number. Let's see. Sometimes it's going to sound funny, but sometimes you need to know when to turn clients down, okay? When you're young, when you're first starting your business, it's likely that you are going to need to you're going to need to do as much business as you can. So as many clients as you can take on is what you're going to need to do, because, you know, you need to get established, you need to make that money. And the jobs are going to be pretty scarce. You know, the sales are going to be pretty scarce. And again, this is for all types of business. This is not, you know, if you got a restaurant, you need to get people in that door week one. You can't you can't have a slack first month and then expect the next following months to bail you out. You got to get people in the door. So, but that being said, sometimes there are people that you don't want to work for. It's really tricky when you do work for someone and they don't have the money. They don't have your money when you're done. If you're doing photography for a wedding and you say, I'll do your wedding for $800 or whatever, and you spend 6 hours way out in some remote area, 2 states away. If they don't pay you at the end, you just wasted your time, and you just pretty much gave them, you don't have to give them those pictures, but you just wasted all that time, and you really haven't gained anything. So if you get the feeling from someone that they're not sincere, or there's something kind of sketchy going on, they're being very evasive, turn that job down. Turn it down. What I do is I never tell people I won't work for them. I typically just give them a really high price quote, and I say, this is what I'm going to charge you. And most of the time they say, oh my God, that's ridiculous, and I'm not going to pay that. And that's what I wanted them to say. Or they'll say, wow, that's really a lot, I'll do it, but, I'm not happy. And then if they do say that, I just charge a really high deposit. I'll say, you got to give me like 50% up front, because there's no telling whether I actually make the other half of that money when it's all said and done. You see what I'm saying? So if you get a bad feeling from someone and you feel like you feel like you can't trust them, it's okay to turn it down. When you're new and you're young, you're very inexperienced, and you're going to come off. You're probably not going to come off in a very professional way, Even if you do come off in a professional way, people are going to recognize the fact that you're young and you're new, and they're going to take advantage of you like no other. It happened to me, and it will definitely happen to you, okay? So that's what I'm saying. When you're starting out, people may recognize the fact that you're really new, and you may not know, what's going on, and they're going to try and take advantage of you. So you turn those guys down. Another important fact or topic I need to tell you guys is only answer your cell phone or your phone in general when you can talk. Okay, when you can take down a message. My business line, I don't have a a dedicated phone line for my business. I just use my cell phone. And a lot of people do that for their house phone. A lot of people do that for their business, because why pay extra money for another line? And you always have your cell phone on you, so that you can always be reached. The only reason you would have a land phone is if you have so much work that you literally don't want to be bothered, and you let them, and you make them leave a message. But that's that's another point. Only answer your cell phone when you can talk. Here's a good example. I'm a big football fan, okay? Every Sunday I go to a sports bar and watch football with my buddies. Well, Sunday morning I get a call from a number I didn't recognize, and I thought, boy, it's Sunday morning. Who would be calling me for business? I wonder who this is. I answered the phone. Hi, this is Rich, blah, blah, blah. It was a client. It was a prospective client. It was somebody who wanted me. It was somebody who wanted my services, my business. And I'm at a bar. I mean, I can't write anything down. I don't have any. I don't have any pen, pencil. Scheduling dates and stuff like that. I don't have my calendar with me. So I said, can you call me back? Maybe you can call me Monday morning and we can talk about this. And she never called me back. I don't know what she was expecting calling me on a Sunday, but it was very, inappropriate of me to take that call when I had absolutely no means of taking down her info and following up with that lead. Another time is if you're at a concert or you're at, a party with your friends and there's loud music all around and you're like, hey, what's up? Who is this? Don't answer. If it's a number you don't recognize, don't answer it. If it's restricted, don't answer it. If it's your buddy from college or whatever, then it's not for business. But when it's somebody that you don't recognize, it could be a client, it could be a business associate, don't take that call. Only, let it go to voicemail. Let them leave a voicemail. And then let's see. Another one I want to talk about is avoid the people. This kind of falls into the category of people kicking your tires, but avoid when people want to text you and or email you over calling you. Okay, the best way to get a sale when you're with a client is in person, because you're there, you're giving them your presentation. You know, maybe you have something you can show them. But if you can't get in person, if you can't be in person with that individual, then obviously talk over the phone, okay? Because you can still interact. You're live with the person, and you're giving them answers, and you're giving them reasons why they should go with you. If you get somebody who responds to your ad, but it's an email, well, you know, they're likely not trying. They're likely not very serious about getting that service done. You know, if they're texting your phone as opposed to calling you, you know, why are they texting you? I mean, if you're in an industry where texting is appropriate, then that's okay. But for me, for service professionals, you always want to talk. If they're texting, they're probably not very serious. Typically what it is when people really want something from you, they're going to try and reach you as much as they can. When they're kind of on the fence about it, they're literally going to distance themselves from you. So they're not going to call you, they're not going to meet with you in person. They're just going to text you, or they're going to email you over their cell phone. So, you know, don't spend too much time on those clients. I had an instance where I planned an estimate with a couple, and I did it over text or maybe over email or something. And I showed up to their house the day that we chose, and they didn't even know who I was. You know, they were like, "Who are you? Well, you know, how do you know where I live?" and stuff like that. So that was bad. That was a waste of my time. That was a waste of my money. So, you know, just be cautious of those types of things. So now I'm going to talk about how to actually leave a voicemail and how to set your voicemail up on your cell phone. Okay, guys? Okay, when you're young, you know, you're not the most professional of person. You're talking to your buddies, "What's up, bro? You know, what's up, dude?" and all this stuff. Do not talk to your clients that way. Do not talk to your business associates that way, okay? When you leave a voicemail, you know, don't say dude, man, bro, any of those things, okay? Get to the point, say what you have to say, and then always leave your name and your phone number, okay, in that message. You know, what I typically do is, you know, I'll call a client, and my voicemail, what I'll leave is go something like this. "Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This is Rich from the 5-Star Closet Company. I'm just calling to verify the date of the install that we set up. I got your contract in the mail. Thank you for that. I just had one thing I needed you to fill in, and so I'm going to mail that back, and then you just send that to me, and, you know, give me a call. You know, give me a call when you get this message. Again, this is Rich. My cell is 916 blah 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 blah. Again, my cell is 916 blah 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 blah. Thank you. Have a good day." Bam. Every time, always at the end of the message, leave your phone number twice and say it slow, guys. I can't tell you how many times I have clients. "Hi, this is June. I want a closet, blah, blah, blah. My cell phone is blah, 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 blah," and they hang up. Oh my God. Sometimes I'll listen to a voicemail 7 times just to get the phone number, you know, because they called on a blocked number, or, you know, another one of those things that you guys aren't supposed to do. So, so always leave your number very, very slowly, and don't be going with the "bro, what's up, man, yo, what's going on, dude." No, professional, okay? Very suit and tie like, because clients don't want to hear, you know, that kind of stuff. They want you to be a credible person. They want you to be professional. They don't want you to be in high school. Maybe you are in high school, but they don't want you to be in high school, so you don't want to leave that impression on them, okay? And the other thing is, you guys need to leave a very, very professional sounding message on your cell phone. A lot of guys, you know, it's their cell for their work, it's their cell for their everyday life, you know. So So maybe your voicemail is, a song, or maybe your voicemail is a quote from a movie. I used to do that all the time. But when I started my business, I had to change it, okay? It's got to be very, hello, this is Rich. Thank you for calling. This is, Rich of the 5-Star Closet Company. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave your name and number and a time that I can get back to you. And thank you for calling. Click. Something like that. Don't be rattling off some message. Hey, what's up? This is Donnie. Yo, hit me up. Okay, I'll call you back. No. Very professional. And it sounds funny because a lot of people would call my phone, my friends and stuff, and they'd be like, dude, what's with your message? It's like, you sound like a square or something, like it's just, oh, what the heck's going on? But that's just how it has to be, guys. That's how you're in business now, You got to take yourself seriously. Your clients are only going to take you seriously if you take yourself seriously. So that's very important. This is pretty much it for part 1 of episode 5 on client etiquette. Again, guys, this is Youth in Business TV. This is a very informal format of a web series. It's all about me telling you guys, how to get started in business, how to get things going. We have interviews, we have questions. I answer questions. I actually just did an interview today with a gal. I'm going to put that in a future episode, so you guys will check that out. It's coming very soon. So hit me up, give me emails, give me, Skypes, give me voicemails, give me whatever you got to give back to the show, and you guys can be on it, okay? So coming up right after this, we're having part 2, and in that episode, I'm going to talk about client etiquette as far as meeting somebody in person. There is a difference between phone and in person, okay? So I know this was a long episode. The next one's probably going to be just as long or maybe longer, and I apologize, but hopefully you guys learned something. Thanks for watching, guys.